What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about how to lose weight and keep it off. So this video is very important because it's a common thing for people to be able to lose weight but then gain it all back. So I'm going to address that issue here today. We're going to talk about how you can lose the weight and make sure you don't gain it all back. So the reason that this happens so often is because people essentially pluck their weed from the surface, and they don't dig their hands into the ground and actually grab it from the root. And that's evident in the fact that, well, the weed grows right back, and maybe their excess 50 pounds grows right back too. So we have to address how to pluck the weed at the root. So how do we go about assessing our issue of being overweight at its root? Well, there's a reason that people are overweight, and there's a commonality, and there might be differences for everybody, but the fundamental commonality is that we have to think about, why am I eating excess food and why am I not exercising? And that commonality there is because that's a comfort zone that people like to reside in, and they haven't developed a capacity to consistently expand that comfort zone and step outside of it. So that's something that you have to develop the capacity to do if you want to be able to lose weight and keep it off. We tend to eat the whole bag of chips because we're in a space of comfort. We tend to sit on the couch instead of exercising because it's comfortable. But if you've done either of those things, if you've gone a long duration of time in your life without exercising, or if you've eaten a whole bag of chips, you know, just like I do, because I've done those things, that it doesn't feel good. It feels good in the moment. The way that the chips taste feels good. Maybe it feels good to rest sometimes, but in the long run, if right after you eat those chips, almost immediately after, for me, I start to feel a sense of shame, and that's something that can be addressed in a whole separate video. But even just the way you feel, like physically, you just feel like shit. And it's the same thing if you go a long time without exercising. You might be saying, well, I'm not exercising because, I'm so tired. Well, you're so tired because your energy doesn't know how to flow because you're not exercising. So it's a little bit of a paradox, but you kind of have to just bootstrap it at first. And by that I mean you kind of just have to know that this is going to be hard. It's going to suck a little bit, but I got to do it. And then it pays you dividends after you do it. It's so worth it. And the opposite is true for sitting on a couch and eating a bag of chips. While you're doing it, it might feel good, but then afterwards it feels like shit. And it actually costs you resources. It costs you time and energy instead of providing those things for you, which is on the flip side of exercising and eating right. So we have to I have a whole video, by the way, on the importance of challenging yourself and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So go give that a watch. That's really important to understand for this topic here. So I'm not going to keep going off on a tangent too much on that topic because, like I said, I have a whole other video on that. So go ahead and watch that. It's going to solve you problems in all facets of your life, not just being overweight. And now let's address some of the other more practical things behind weight loss. So a lot of people lose weight but then gain it all back because they haven't broken their habit of not eating healthy. So like I said before, how you kind of have to bootstrap it at first. Keywords are at first. So you have to just face it, know that it's going to suck a little bit, and do it head on to begin. But that's not sustainable. You can't maintain that energy of, oh, this is shit, this is hard, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So if you haven't broken the habit of unhealthy eating and you're losing your weight, eventually you're just going to gain it all back because your exercise, if you're not eating right, your exercise isn't going to be easy because you're not fueling your body properly. And not only that, but your results aren't going to come as quick because maybe you're exercising really hard and you're burning 3,000 calories a day, but you're eating 2,800. So you're only losing 200 calories a day. And for those of you who don't know, 1 pound is equivalent to 3,500 calories. So 3,500 calories comes out to 1 pound. So you can imagine if you're only in a deficit of 200 calories or maybe 100 calories a day, or maybe one day you're in a surplus of 100 calories, the next day you're in a deficit of 200 calories. So by the end of the week, maybe you've only lost like 1/10 of a pound. Not only that, but you haven't broken the habit of your unhealthy eating. So it's almost like you're exercising just so you can afford to eat that bag of chips without gaining weight. And that's not sustainable. You're still plucking the weed by the surface. You're not getting to the root. Part of the root system is that you're not eating healthy. You're not eating whole foods. So you have to address that. You have to change that. Now, a very important thing to keep in mind here is patience. And it's important to keep in mind because, like I said, if you're doing this properly, only the beginning is going to be the hardest part. So you have to keep in mind that it's going to get easier, it's going to get better. That's where patience is really important. But also, as a collective, it's going to get easier and better because the weight's going to start to come off and you're going to start to feel better and the reps are going to start to come easier. So the exercise portion is going to get better if you have patience. You have something to look forward to, and you're going to feel it. Don't just take my word for it. If you do this, you'll feel it day in, day out that it's getting a little bit easier. And also, just cleaning up your diet will tend to get easier too by virtue of changing your palate. So you have to have a little bit of patience. You kind of have to bootstrap your diet a little bit too. And to remind you what I mean by using this phrase bootstrap, I mean it's going to kind of be hard, but you have to just do it. You might have the cravings, but watch them, be aware of them, be conscious of them. That's going to help you a lot to not succumb to them. And then eat your whole foods instead of your junk foods. And eventually, the cravings for the junk foods are going to start to go away, and you're going to start looking forward to, and you're going to start craving your whole healthy foods. Before I cleaned up my diet radically, I still do a little bit. I still crave junk foods, but I used to crave them way more. My diet used to be disgusting. I used to eat very, very unhealthy foods, boxed, processed foods, day in, day out. And I actually wasn't overweight while I was doing that because I was still exercising a lot. I was playing a lot of sports, but my diet was just terrible. And I recognized, okay, the quality of my energy, like I don't have good energy. I'm tired. I'm not nourishing my body. I'm going to have health problems down the road, not because I'm overweight or, high blood pressure, hypertension, this sort of thing, but maybe my liver or my kidneys are going to freaking fail on me. So I got to clean up my diet. And in the process of doing that, my palate changed. Now I don't crave junk foods nearly as much. And I crave pineapples. I crave a good salad. I crave a nice piece of salmon. So your palate, your cravings will actually start to lean more towards the healthy foods. Now, not only are you going to enjoy those on a sensory level, where you're going to enjoy the taste more, but if you have any sense of body awareness, and just before I get into this, a way to cultivate a sense of body awareness, if you want to deepen that, is to start a meditation practice. Go check out my video on the benefits of meditation. If you have any sense of body awareness, over time, you're going to start to notice, oh my God, I'm feeling so much better than I ever have before when you start exercising and eating right. So now not only are you going to be craving these foods for the taste, But you're going to be craving exercise because of how good it feels afterwards, even during. I love working out. But you're also going to crave that good feeling that nourishing food is going to bring you. You're going to get more vitality. Your energy levels are going to be higher, and it's going to be a cleaner energy too. It's a different type of energy. You're going to feel more excitement towards life. You're going to feel more motivated to go after your goals in all facets of your life, not just health and wellness. Versus if you're not eating healthy, you're going to kind of feel shitty. You're not going to feel clean. You're going to feel a lot of brain fog. You're not going to be able to focus very much. You're not going to really want to work out. So that will be a consistent source of motivation, which is very important, because the thing with yo-yo dieting is that your motivation is fleeting. You lose weight, but then you gain it all back because you kind of set yourself up for failure in a way. Not that you set yourself up for failure, but you didn't have the tools for success. You cut the weed at the surface instead of getting it at its roots. So like I said before, don't just take my word for this. Put it into action. If you're not eating great and you're not exercising, how you're feeling is about here. This is your ceiling right now. When you're feeling your best, you're about here. But if you start cleaning up your diet and you start exercising regularly, your ceiling goes to here. And this is where you're going to hang out and more, your mood. If I go a day without exercising, and I have my off days where I'll have like passive recovery. I try to do like an intense exercise like 5 or 6 days a week. But those 1 or 2 days a week where I'm taking a day off, I'm still exercising, just not lifting heavy weights or anything like that. Still making sure I get a walk in, maybe do some push-ups, do some yoga. But if I go a day without getting exercise, and you can probably already know this, even if you haven't gotten your ceiling up to here, when you're not moving, you don't feel good. When you're not eating right, you don't feel good. And like I said, don't just take my word for this. Because if you just take it on faith here, that's not going to be enough. That's not going to be a consistent source of motivation. Find out for yourself. And once you feel into it, you're going to have a consistent source of motivation and a drive to stay with your habits. That's another thing. You're going to be building habits by doing this, by exercising and eating right. It's going to become a habit. It's going to be like brushing your teeth. It's going to be part of your daily routine. And once you build it into a habit and you break the bad habits, then it's going to be a lot easier to keep that weight off and maybe to build up some muscle and to feel great. So just some housekeeping items, some really practical stuff. Of course, if you're somebody who has some children and you work quite a busy job, and one of your excuses might be not having the time, well, you need to prioritize your health. So if you're watching this video, you're already on the right track. You're prioritizing your health. Clearly, if you search this up, you found it somewhere and you're watching it, you're giving it your attention. So stay with that. Stay prioritizing your health. And I have a video on time management too, how to be a master at time management. Go check that video out. That will help you a lot at making sure you find the time to get your workouts in. If you got to wake up at 5 a.m., you got to wake up at 5 a.m. Make sure you're getting, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. But if that's the only time, if you got kids and you got to wake up before all your kids do, that's what you got to do. My mother actually implemented that into her life at quite a young age. And she kind of yo-yo dieted for a bit, but she's figured it out. The last 5 years, she's maintained like a really healthy body. And that's what she would do actually. And that I found that really inspiring as a young teenager who was about to get into exercising and all that. is that she would actually, I'm one of 3 of her children. I have 2 older siblings, and she would wake up at 5 a.m., still does, because it's a habit that she's had into her lifestyle for the last 25 years or so. My sister's 30, so I guess 30 years on and off, but I know over the last like 5 years, she's been really, really consistent with it. She woke up at 5 a.m. because that was the only time she was able to work out. She had 3 young kids. When they wake up, that's it. You got to give them your attention, get them ready for school, and then you got to go to work. And then you got to come home, you got to take care of them, help them with their homework, right? Prepare dinner. So that was the only time. So if that's what you got to do, then do it. But yeah, check out that video. That's going to help you a lot. I give you a lot of really good tips and tricks and really a whole blueprint to be able to really harness your skills at time management. And on that note, since I mentioned that might be an excuse that you have for yourself, stop making excuses. If you're giving yourself excuses, you're giving yourself a way out. And you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're saying, yeah, but there's this and this, that's why I'm not in shape. That doesn't work. That's not help. You're just falling under your own self-deception. You're trying to trick yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have challenges. You may have some very real challenges, but don't use them as an excuse. Your own health and wellness should be your number 1 priority. So, whatever those challenges are, face them. Don't let them be an excuse. Don't let them be a reason that you're not taking care of your body. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Be patient so you can develop your habits, break the old habits. Once the weight starts to come off, everything's going to be easier. Once you start to develop that change in your palate, it's going to be easier to eat better. Be mindful. So feel into how you're feeling. If you're currently not exercising or eating healthy, it feels like shit. I've been there. And then feel into how it feels when you do start exercising and eating healthy. It's going to feel great, and that's going to be a consistent source of motivation. And of course, to begin all this and to maintain it, you have to be able to consistently step outside of your comfort zone. And like I said, you can go check out that video too. That's going to help you in so many other facets of your life. If you're seeking comfort, you're keeping yourself in a box and you're just going to be miserable. I guess last thing that I should mention is, of course, if you don't really know where to start, you have the internet. The world is at your fingertips in terms of learning. So you can learn some recipes, how to do meal prepping, how to give yourself an exercise routine, develop a little bit of a program. Or you can even, hire some professionals. You can go, if you have a means of doing that, if you have the resources, go find a dietitian or a nutritionist or a personal trainer. A good buddy of mine is an amazing personal trainer, and he understands on so many levels how to help you consistently fulfill your goals. His name's Isaiah Morera. I'll attach a link to Morera Fitness or Morera Athletics. I forget what his Instagram page is called, but I'll attach a link to that in my bio if you wanted to reach out to him to work with him. And if you wanted to reach out to me to find out how to address some of those challenges that you might have that are obstacles for you in your weight loss journey or your health and wellness journey, then you could reach out to me as well. I offer life coaching, and the first session is free to anybody who wants it. And even if it's for a topic that doesn't really relate to physical health and wellness, and there's just other areas of your life that you need help with, reach out to me. We'll schedule a call. I'll attach my Instagram link in the description below. I'll also attach Isaiah's training page, Instagram link in the description below. And yeah, to set up a call with me, just shoot me a DM on Instagram or send me an email. I'll also include my email in the description. And you can also find those videos that I was talking about. I'll attach a link to those two in the description for the importance of challenging yourself and stepping outside of your comfort zone, and how to be a master at time management. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I have no intentions in slowing down. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Have a good one.